The Untold Secret, My Connie, My First and Last Love with Medical Negligence. Author Pradeep Berry brings us The Untold Secret, My Connie, My First and Last Love with Medical Negligence. A story of love, medical negligence, deep wisdom, and an unending search for justice. Pradeep Berry met the woman of his dreams, fresh off the plane from India. With $7 in his pocket and a one-way ticket to the United States, Pradeep didn't know what to expect. As it happened, he found an intelligent young woman, an educator and charitable soul. He fell for her instantly, and the rest is history. Over 40 years of devoted marriage, and many shared experiences later, we find ourselves in the present day. Here we face a tragic ending to what was an incredibly powerful and beautiful bond. Constance Fuller was U.S.-born educator and the love of Pradeep's life. She taught in some of the nation's finest academic institutions, serving her country proudly. The author himself, reflecting upon the powerful spirit of his Connie, recalls how her giving had no end. She donated to charities throughout her life, and even after her passing, leaving a considerable sum to charities, which work to promote education and cancer research. Not only that, Pradeep remembers how fondly she would care for her dear parents. This is why it's so sad for him to know that her own family did not return the favor. In The Untold Secret of My Connie, My First and Last Love with Medical Negligence, we're given insight into the final days of Constance Berry's life. Here, we learn some of the troubling circumstances and details surrounding her demise. The author is convinced that without medical malpractice and negligence on the part of Constance's hospital staff, she might have a chance at still being here today. It began with Constance's entry into the hospital. After Pradeep Berry noticed it, Constance requested that the DNR code be changed to full code. This request was met with a quick reply, yes, of course, and the happy couple could finally relax. Little did they know that this would set off a series of events neither of them could have possibly predicted. Imagine yourself with them now in that hospital room. Constance is having difficulty breathing, and the nursing staff don't quite know what to do. Pradeep begins to call out for help. He shouts and shouts until the medical staff arrive asking what the problem is. With their extensive training, they know precisely what the problem is. Constance is going into cardiac arrest, and there's only one clear solution. She needs CPR. They explain this, but they aren't going to do anything. Pradeep is furious, demanding that they do something to save his beloved wife. They tell him they cannot do anything because the DNR code hasn't been changed. 9 minutes would pass before they eventually take action and perform CPR. However, 9 minutes is a long time in a near-death experience, and this is the beginning of Pradeep's case against the medical staff. If our complaint supports a pattern of deceptive practices, it may be included in future investigations and/or litigations. These words are the author's expression of concern for the very practices of the hospital which attended to his Connie. His own pain is awful enough. He does not wish the same for anyone else. One of the most valuable ways that we can learn of existing problems in the marketplace is by receiving complaints from concerned citizens. Here, we get a glimpse of the author's ability to draw from his own personal background in business. He considers the hospital a marketplace, a business also. And as such, he is concerned with solving problems, finding solutions, especially when these solutions can save a person's life. It is important to note this section because we are given insight into how Pradeep Berry is able to focus on other people than himself. Even in his period of intense pain and grief, he is able to consider the larger picture. His pain might be unbearable, but he would never wish the same for anyone else. For this reason, he works to bring justice to this medical establishment and do what he can to ensure it never happens again. This not only saves other lives, it serves his dear wife's memory and spirit. Pradeep Berry constantly serves his wife's memory. While his book takes a critical look at the medical industry and the way it mistreated Constance's case, it is also a wealth of valuable lessons and wisdom. Here we're able to enjoy some wisdom from Pradeep's late uncle, Dr. P. N. Bell. Darts, barbed wire, and heated spears, however deep they penetrate the flesh, may be extracted, but a cutting speech, which pierces like a javelin to the heart, none can remove. It lies and rankles. bad language used in anger or otherwise hurts the person. Here the author gives us insight into his own methods. Rather than penetrating the flesh of those who have done him wrong, namely the hospital staff, he has decided to use the power of language to explain his case. As a talented wordsmith, he understands that the pen is indeed mightier than the sword. That being said, he does not simply wish to inflict pain. Again, in the words of his late uncle, "The wound of the dagger heals, but the hurt caused by the speech leaves a permanent scar on the heart." Hence, control of the tongue and speech are very important. Never hurt others with your words. I strongly recommend austerity in speech, body, and mind. A man's job is to help one another and not to hurt each other. The latter is an animal instinct and not a human one. A good, cheerful word can win the hearts of others. A bad word makes enemies. Again, we're shown the true nature of Pradeep Berry's character. He's not resentful for his wife's passing. Though it may hurt him dearly, he's still a member of the human race. He still believes that a man's job is to help one another and not to hurt each other. This is what separates him from his enemies after all, and it is what makes The Untold Secret of My Connie such a valuable book. One can put knives and arrows in somebody's heart, no matter how deep it is, but it can be taken away with medical treatment. But a bad deep and a bad word from the mouth rattles and rattles the whole life, and the person sometimes keeps a tendency for revenge. Is it a coincidence that the author mentions medical treatment in this passage? I think not. He brings our attention to the source of his pain and still finds the strength to stand above what has happened to him. Revenge is not the same as seeking justice, and Pradeep Berry understands that the way to honor his dear Connie's memory is not to commit bad deeds of his own. Constance's case is riddled with inconsistencies and malpractice. For instance, the author describes the manner in which her doctors would not allow a second opinion. They refused letting Constance go see another doctor. That is until Pradeep Berry demanded it must be done. He took her to the Mayo Clinic, where the doctors were very helpful. They gave some recommendations for Constance's treatment, which the medical staff at the hospital did not approve. They discredited the opinions of the Mayo Clinic as marketing gimmicks. The hospital staff knew that Pradeep wanted to consider alternative treatments, the latest in technology and rehabilitation, as suggested by the Mayo Clinic. It was for this reason that Dr. Bruce Brockstein contacted Constance's brother, Michael. On February 27, 2015, Dr. Brockstein and Michael decided to let Constance die, without informing or discussing the decision with Pradeep Berry. Michael's motivations for this were suspect. He called Pradeep only to ask about Constance's finances. The fact that the medical staff would consult Michael, the brother who had never cared for Connie, and not Pradeep, still brings the author great pain today. They removed Constance's tubes in the hospital and told her that, all things according to plan, she would be able to go home into palliative care in a couple of days. This was great news for both members of the couple, and they were happy thinking of returning to their beautiful home together. The medical staff told Pradeep that his tender care and affection had really worked, that they would finally be able to go home. Constance's prognosis was looking positive and all signs were good. They told him this on the night of the 26th, and on the morning of the 27th, Pradeep Berry finally left the hospital to take care of some things at the house. If she would be there 24 hours a day again, this would be his only chance to take care of the chores and get things settled for her arrival. Little did he know the staff hadn't told him everything. As it happened, the staff were away for the weekend. Pradeep had returned to an empty hospital, and Constance's breathing was getting worse. He called the staff from the neighboring room, urgently requiring assistance. At this point, Pradeep Berry had the presence of mind to ask someone to record a 32-minute video of the episode. This video serves as yet another instance of evidence of malpractice on the hospital's behalf. It is a strong media record to have. On the video, you can hear the author's voice saying, "This is medical negligence. You do not care for my wife. Please send someone." Nobody comes. Again, it is worth reminding the reader that this is not all doom and gloom. The Untold Secret is an invaluable text, which gives us exciting scenes of action and terror, combined with wonderful passages of wisdom. Returning to some of the author's favorite words by Khalil Gibran. "My soul is my friend, who consoles me in the misery and distress of life. He who does not befriend his soul is an enemy of humanity, and he who does not find human guidance within himself will perish desperately. Life emerges from within, and derives not from environs. I came to say a word, and I shall say it now. But if death prevents in uttering, it will be said by tomorrow, for tomorrow never leaves a secret in the book of eternity. Perhaps here, the author would like to tell us that while his beautiful wife has left, her soul is the friend which consoles him in misery and distress. Since the couple were indeed together as one, a perfect union of souls, it is possible that the soul which consoles itself is actually two souls, Pradeep and Connie, consoling one another in life and after death. Further, we're given more insight into the motivation of this book. If death prevents uttering, it will be said by tomorrow. Though Connie is gone, Pradeep preserves her memory in his writing. The untold secret may very well be the tomorrow which never leaves a secret in the book of eternity. What I say now with one heart will be said tomorrow by many hearts. The untold secret of my Connie, my first and last love with medical negligence, is an inspiring mixture of pain and redemption. Author Pradeep Berry manages to combine the wisdoms of many great authors, including himself, with the dark circumstances surrounding his wife's passing. Even in tremendous pain, the author gives his readers an opportunity for hope and growth. Love will prevail, and his beloved wife never truly leaves him in spirit. The Untold Secret of My Connie is available for purchase on Amazon. Dive into this magnificent tale to learn more about Pradeep and Constance Berry and their uplifting journey together.